Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to my channel. Really glad to be with you today. I have a candle that I think is probably the best candle of 2023. And I know it's early. I know it's only April. And this candle actually came out, I think, in January or February for Bath and Body Works. And it is Pink Lavender and Espresso. It's in this beautiful blush naturals jar with the White Barn kind of a cream or taupe lid. It is a triple wick and it's getting a little bit sooty, but I've been fairly careful with it. I've only burned it about 2 or 3 hours at a time. Oh my gosh. So I know it's early. Bath and Body Works knocked this out of the park. I mean, January, February, insane. Pink Lavender and Espresso. I gotta be honest, if I was a candle developer and a lavender espresso candle concept came across my desk, I would be like, who came up with this? Tell them that they're fired immediately. Just clean your desk out, we're done, right? I mean, who would think that that combination would even work? Espresso and lavender. Espresso leaning like maybe a little bit gourmand, but definitely having its own really dark, deep, roasty kind of feel to it. And then lavender, which is a little bit more spa-like and herbal. And it's so funny because both of those things almost, they invoke completely opposite things. So espresso, like deep, dark, rich, masculine, bold, lots of adrenaline, caffeine, you know, perk me up. And then the lavender, which invokes like this very like austere, spa-like, calm, soothing, herbal. It's so hilarious that they're both in this candle, regardless of the fact that the scents are not ones that we would imagine going together. I know a lot of people have reviewed this one, and so it's probably not completely new to you, but still very much available at Bath and Body Works. It retails for $26.95, so it's not bad in terms of price, at least the prices that they're giving us now, the continuum of them. For me, this was a revelation, a complete revelation. I have never smelled anything like this, and I went ahead and bought 2 of these over the last and recent sale because I just need to always have this with me for sure. And it's unexpected, but I think it was diminished for many people because it is very, very similar to a candle that Bath and Body Works did sell last year and a couple years before that. And that is Lavender Marshmallow. Looks like this. And I have to be honest, I was not aware of Lavender Marshmallow. I haven't been buying Bath and Body Works candles in earnest for a few years, so I was not aware of this. But everybody said, oh, it's a dupe for Lavender Marshmallow. And my first thought was, absolutely not. I have never smelled Lavender Marshmallow, but I can tell you right now that is mistaken because there was this amazing roasted coffee smell in here. And I just thought, how is it possible that a candle that the name of which is Lavender Marshmallow would be anywhere near it? I was so insulted that frankly, I went to eBay and I bought one of these for $30 by the time that I paid for shipping. You're welcome. For research, right? $30 on a Bath and Body Works candle. And one that's not even current. Okay, so Lavender Marshmallow. And when I got it in the mail and smelled it, I was like, oh, okay, you're right. It is extremely similar to Pink Lavender and Espresso. And partly that's because it doesn't smell the way you would think a Lavender Marshmallow would smell. So this is extremely heavy roasted caramel, and caramel doesn't even show up in the notes. So the notes on Lavender Marshmallow are fluffy marshmallow, touch of lavender, and fresh vanilla bean. It's not a fresh anything, first of all, and it's not a fresh vanilla bean. So you really can't get a whole lot of vanilla coming through at all because there's just this very deep, deep caramel note, and it's a roasted caramel note. So much so that it almost goes a little bit salty. And then with the vanilla on top, and the vanilla comes through a bit more strongly here than in here, not because I think that it's more pronounced here, but because there's just more in the espresso candle to kind of really compete with that lavender. So here you've got a little bit more lavender, but I would say that the star of this particular candle is a deep roasted caramel, super deep roasty. So much so that I think what happened is somebody on the development team was smelling it and they're like, it's a great candle, but to be honest, it almost goes coffee because of the way that that caramel is coming over. And then somebody was like, hey, what if we did coffee and lavender and just like leaned into that roastiness, right? And then these more like austere, sleek, cool naturals lines tend to only give you like 1 or 2, max 3 different scent notes to kind of emphasize the quote unquote natural quality. And many of them do lean a little bit more masculine or a little bit more austere. So I think they thought, well, this is perfect for a naturals candle. Let's do it. Let's lean into the espresso and go for it. So I think that a lot of people were quote unquote disappointed with this candle, not because it's not a phenomenal candle, but because they were also already so familiar with Lavender Marshmallow that for some reason this one just seemed like phoned in. I appreciate where those people are coming from. I really, really do. But for me, this candle is better than Lavender Marshmallow. It's like a 2.0. Yes, it does burn very similar. So I have to say the Pink Lavender and Espresso is extremely strong on the coffee when you smell it cold, but then upon burning it, it softens up. And I would say more of the lavender comes out and a little bit more of the sweet element. So when it's burned, it kind of heads more in this direction. And as you would expect, when this one is burned, it goes a little sweeter too. So for me, this is a bit too sweet upon being burned. And this one goes a little bit more toward Lavender Marshmallow as a cold experience. I personally like this one because of my subjective preferences. I would never in a million years even go to smell a candle in Bath & Body Works with marshmallow in the name. Thank you, next. It's just not my thing. First of all, I don't do gourmands, but second of all, like I tend to not love uber sweet candles. So like unicorn fluff, tutti frutti, anything with sprinkles, definitely anything with marshmallow in the name is absolutely a no. Now, if I had, despite that, smelled it, I would have realized that actually it's a very complex and deep caramel. It's gorgeous, and it does not lean too sweet, which is super impressive. I would probably never have even gotten to like actually smelling it. But the coffee in here cuts whatever sweetness is there, cuts it even more, so that it does come across as a strong caramel coffee, but the coffee is just giving it like a backbone and a depth and not allowing the sweetness to really overpower it, which is incredible. I think I said in one of my videos that I had my sister and her kids over the other day, and for fun, they were smelling all my candles cold, you know, without even looking at the name of them. And we were trying to pick out like scents. And they got to this one and they were like, coffee right off, caramel coffee. That's what they said. And they were surprised that there was lavender in it. So I think that's a little bit of a check for a lot of people that are like, this is not even coffee at all. Definitely on cold experience is incredibly coffee forward, and it's a nice coffee. Do you know how many coffees Bath & Body Works has that are just really not good? And I mean, this channel is called Coffee and Candles. I love coffee. Coffee is like, I actually love coffee even more than candles. and I know more about coffee than I do candles. So I can tell you that the coffee experiences in Bath & Body Works are very bad. They're super harsh, bitter, often synthetic, like just aggressive to the point of not being pleasant. Like they're really, really not good. This was the first candle I smelled where I was like, this coffee is incredible. I don't even know if it's an espresso per se, but it's a dark, rich coffee. And yes, there's caramel too, but it doesn't take away from that like really dark, authentic, fresh, like one of those freshly ground coffees, you know, that amazing aroma when you grind beans for yourself or walk into like a roastery, you know, like one of those hipster ones where they like roast their own beans or are constantly grinding them. Gosh, that's amazing. And yes, there's a lot of caramel, but the caramel, although it's present with the espresso, it's not competing with it. And the lavender is still there. And I have to say, it comes out stronger when it's burned, but it provides this amazing, yes, a little bit floral, but it's not a true round, sweet floral. I mean, it's a true lavender, like not a biting or astringent kind of herbal lavender, but it is an herbal lavender. I mean, it's recognizable. And it's just amazing that of all the candles that I would think Bath & Body Works would have to go conceptual with, you know, they'll give you a coffee that's a candle like coffee and whiskey. And it's so conceptual. It doesn't have any coffee in it. It doesn't have any whiskey in it. I 1000% believed when I first set eyes on this label, we were going to get some sort of concept of lavender and espresso, because I could not imagine that they would lean into those two authentic scents as well as they did here. It's incredible. Although, frankly, as I said at the beginning, I don't even know what that concept would be. Spa plus coffee house. Like, what concept even is that? At least with coffee and whiskey, it's like, okay, we're going for like a rugged, masculine, you know, whatever else. I don't know what the concept of this would have been. I cannot even begin to give Bath & Body Works the credit that they deserve on this candle. It's incredible. And it's fairly strong. I mean, I would say that when I burn it, this goes in between anywhere from like a 6.5 to I would say 6.5 to 7 on this one. Now I have to say that the Lavender Marshmallow is more like a 6. I think this is more of a 6. So you do get a little more volume here, which I like. Again, I think it makes it the stronger candle. And leaning into the espresso as it does just cuts a little bit of the sweetness. Yes, the espresso doesn't come over quite as strong when burned, but honestly, I try to burn it in the mornings because I associate coffee with mornings, and because if I drink coffee past 1 o'clock, like I'll be up forever in a day. So I usually burn this in the morning, and I'll sit and watch like the Today Show in the morning, right? And this candle comes across so nicely. And there were several moments where I would get a whiff of something and immediately be like, where's my coffee? Where's my coffee? Who's brewing coffee, right? It would just be like a flash of something, and it was coming across as coffee, enough that like in a Pavlovian kind of way, I was reaching for my coffee. So it's not true that the coffee is completely absent in it. And I actually think that if the coffee were bumped up even more, it would completely overpower certainly the lavender that is in this, but maybe even overpower the caramel. And frankly, I don't trust Bath & Body Works to like bump up coffee that much. Every time they have a strong coffee candle, it just goes bad real quick. This is a perfectly balanced candle. Perfectly. Would I be happier if it was like 0.5 stronger? Yeah, maybe, you know? I can't imagine how you could perfect this more than it is. I just don't. And I know for those of you who are disappointed that it wasn't completely new, in that it was super reminiscent of something they had before, I think that maybe like holding those folks back from acknowledging and appreciating the fact that this is an incredible candle. Incredible. It's outside the box. It's unique. It shouldn't work, but it does. Like it's balanced in terms of sweetness. Bath & Body Works leans a little too sugary. This one, they nailed. The aesthetic of it is gorgeous. Frankly, I'm embarrassed to burn a candle that has marshmallows or sprinkles in my house. Although this wraparound is not so bad. You know, it doesn't have like actual sprinkles on it or anything. But for those of us who really enjoy this cool, sexy, classy, sophisticated, subtle aesthetic that this Naturals line has going for it, how amazingly gorgeous is this? And they've really like riffed off the pink to give us that like cool girl millennial blush. This is incredible. Do you know how many times, I mean, I just got done reviewing a candle for Kringle and 2 candles, Nativity and Stardust, in which I spent this time at the end being like, how could these 2 candles be improved? How many times constructively do we say, this is a candle, but it's 80% of the way there. I would like to see this, this, or this. And when does that ever happen? That the candle comes back in a better, improved state? Like never. We're usually just talking into the void, right? This would be great if this candle was redone, bumped up in this kind of a way. They did it. They did it. They took what was already a really good candle and they made a 2.0 version that is like brilliant and inspired. I mean, this one was good. This one is exceptional, right? It's like one of those movie sequels that nails it, that does a better job than the original. How many times did that happen, right? We need to like really vote with our mouths and with our dollars on this one because we want to see candle companies actually improving their products. Like, don't give us another candle that's like worse than the one that has already come before it. How many times does that happen, right? Don't give us, you know, the same old, same old. But if you're gonna give us something that's similar, let it eclipse the earlier iteration. This is everything. If you don't love coffee, I think you're still probably gonna like this candle. I mean, it's just so well done, and there's a lot of caramel in it, and there's a lot of lavender. I think it should have very good cross appeal to a lot of people. There may be some people that dislike it. There have been some that have been like, I'm just too weirded out by the combination. I don't love it, you know? Or people that just will not burn coffee, kind of like they will not burn patchouli candles. Okay, that's fine. But for the most part, I'm seeing people like hoard-worthy stock up on these, and I haven't heard as many negative voices as you would for something that is as unique as this is. So I think it's a slam dunk. It's a grand slam. It's Bath & Body Works really swinging for the fences and just crushing it, absolutely crushing it. It's not like, sometimes Bath & Body Works will pull out a candle and everybody will be hyping over it for like 5 minutes. And then they get it home and they're like, oh, this is really disgusting. This is the one that you would expect that to happen with, and it has not. I doff my cap. Bath & Body Works, take a bow, take a bow. You deserve it. I'm definitely gonna keep reviewing candles for the rest of the year, and I hope that there are brilliant new contributions from all the respective candle companies. But this is definitely a 2023 Best New Candle nominee, and I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the year, no candle company has really bested it. That's all I've got to say. I didn't really go over the scent notes a whole lot. I just explained that like fluffy marshmallow, touch of lavender, and fresh vanilla bean were in this one, which I think those are actually a little bit misleading. This one is rich pink lavender, caramel espresso beans, and smooth vanilla, which is pretty much right on. But as with this candle, you're not gonna get so much vanilla as you're gonna get the coffee, the caramel, and the lavender. Those are your 3 main notes. Here, I would say roasted caramel and lavender. It's got some vanilla, but frankly, it can't compete with those other 2 elements. Well, it is available. It is available for purchase. We had one lone candle at my local Bath & Body Works store. One. It's probably gone by now. So they are selling out in the stores, but you may still have one around in your local brick and mortar store. Otherwise, they are still available online. I don't know how for how long. And gosh, I really hope Bath & Body Works brings this baby out every year because it deserves it. Thank you so much. It feels good to have a truly glowing review. Thank you for that, Bath & Body Works. And I will see you in the next one.